Hey, how are you?
We waking up over here. I'm waiting for Terry. Just wanted to say good morning to
Good
y'all.
morning.
Good morning. Is that for sharing? Is that fruit? I'm just messing.
You want some?
No, I'm just messing.
You
Is that fruit?
yeah, you want some? Here, man. You know you want some. You in there?
She turned around like, is it?
Whatever.
Now see, he's not, Daddy's like, is this your baby? Daddy's not gonna let me get in on the fruit because you got all over it. You got all into it? Look. Oh, I just want one more.
It's not sweet.
Oh, it's okay.
You gotta fix it.
All right, look, baby,
Oh,
bro.
baby.
You want the link?
Let me get it.
Yeah.
I can send it to your number.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey,
What?
sit down.
Look, I was spoiled with him.
You okay? Hold on.
Sit down.
Oh, you know it's playing from here, right?
No, I just started that already.
Oh, okay. Oh, you want the call Tyrone?
Yeah, we're gonna do Call Tyrone.
You know when you're ready.
We'll fade out the next song. Go ahead and let it play so we don't be rushing crazy.
It's fading out on its own. It's done. It's over.
Nah, not, it's gonna play something else, man. Yeah. So, fade that out from iTunes on the computer. That's coming from iTunes.
Good morning. She said she calls him house meeting.
You have to listen, we don't listen to it.
She said a coward.
Yeah, hold on 1 second though, baby Ron. Let me get started over here. Yes, sir.
John, what's your,
Warren, Mike. Oh, my phone number 909-549-2855.
What, he sending the YouTube link?
Yeah, the thing so I can just put it on my page.
Oh,
That's what I've been doing. Every time you got me, bro. I just put the link on my page.
you got Android.
Yeah.
Or you could just go to it and just share the link on Facebook. I'll share it with you.
Yeah,
On YouTube?
let's do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, let's just get on so we can get on by this song. So
Oh,
you,
yeah, y'all on. You
we up on Facebook?
on YouTube.
We up on YouTube?
We both. I can switch it to the Facebook.
No, that's good.
That's the
What's up, YouTube? We live over there in the YouTube streets. We live in the YouTube streets. Everybody eating.
Oh, no.
My phone.
That's all we can use. You want this meatball here? I was gonna say it like that.
Yeah, go ahead. Sing it. Go ahead.
Just don't mess up there.
Hey,
There
our
we
title
go.
still say mean knowledge.
The other one said it too.
You gotta go get us switch that. What's happening out here in the YouTube streets? We about to go live right after this song.
How's this? Is this one?
Yeah, that's on. Can you turn it toward me a little bit? More. Right there is perfect. Right there.
Yeah, this is solid. Yep, A1. We good.
What's up, YouTube streets? What's happening with y'all out there? What's the word? Hey, we about to get in today. What we got up here? Microphone checks. All right, go ahead and fade in to call Tyrone. Yeah, turn us up in the monitors too up here. Monitor A, all the way top right corner. There you go. No, on the Red knob, right there. So we can hear inside the studio. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Turn that up. Yes, indeed. You don't mind me nothing, baby. You don't mind me nothing. We're going to come in, introduce what we're going to do, and we're going to go to break right after we do the introduction, and we're going to go to that song. Over here? Yeah. But come to the microphone so you can be in the introduction too. You have time. Yeah.
See, I've been having this on my mind.
We ain't gonna talk about that
for
rest
a
at all.
long time.
Yeah, we're going to do her too.
I just wanted to be you and me.
That's what, if we got time, we'll jump on that.
I can do it, nigga. Jamming on purpose.
How to act. So matter of fact, I'm thinking better. Call your boy. Yes, indeed.
And tell him, come on.
Can I steal some charge from you?
Yes.
You need to call Tyrone.
What's up, YouTube? What's happening out there? We're going to be talking about some things today, y'all. Real talk.
Now every time I ask you
Yeah.
for a little care,
Every time I ask you for a little bit of cash,
you say no, turn right around and ask me for something.
it's Wednesday.
You want me to pause the laptop?
No.
I
Yeah.
ain't no cheap thrill. 'Cause this Badu's always coming for real. You know the deal, nigga. Every time we go somewhere, I gotta reach down in my
You guys see it on
purse.
Facebook? See if you see it on my page,
Your
y'all.
way and your homeboy's way. And sometimes your cousin's way. They don't never have to pay.
And you see it on yours? Oh, yeah, I see it on Start Broadcasting.
Your camera not working.
It's on down. All right, fade down. Fade down. Like cut the mic. Turn the mics on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's happening? What's happening? Mics. We need the mics. What is going on out there? Houston, Texas, we got feedback. We got we good. We good. Hey, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday for me. It's Wednesday for you. It is Wednesday, and this is what we do. This is Soapbox Heroes. If you on your way to work, I hope you are having a good day, a nice drive. Out there on the highways, the byways, we all good. We all good in here. Feeling good. Living good. We trying to do good. Everybody trying to do right every now and then. We doing what we got to do. We trying to get the different feeds going on. Right now, we got the YouTube feed going on. Trying to get the Facebook feeds. You know, Facebook be fighting us sometimes. Wake up! But we still be winning. Hey, we got some things that we going to talk about today. We going to talk about Monique and Steve Harvey. We're going to talk about what she had to say. We're going to play the interview. We're going to chop it, slice it, dice it. We're going to talk about, Disneyland. Disneyland might be a new venue for MMA. Hey, before we go too far, let me go ahead and introduce my co-host.
Good morning, everyone. It's Keish.
Okay, hey.
Yes, good mid-morning. It's John the comedian.
With the mid-morning, John with the technical technique.
And good morning. This is Baby Braun.
Baby Braun in the house. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the melees at Disneyland. They be getting it cracking at Disneyland. But hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play a little song right quick. When we come back, hey, the phone number is 346-330-9473. Go ahead and light the phone lines up. We're going to get in today. What do the young people say? It's lit.
They don't think they say it in a high pitch like that.
Yeah.
They're like, it's lit though, homie.
Real
lit though,
calm
homie.
and cool, yeah.
It's lit though, homie. All right, so we'll be right back after this break. Soapbox Heroes.
10-foot wall, they give you a 5-foot ladder. Cause wishing death on me, hoping I lose my bladder. On my pockets on malnutrition, but they keep getting fatter. That's why they mad at me, but actually I never been no rapper. Was a royalty check, Jay gave a couple advances, but the pay bills I was taking penitentiary chances. I wanted to borrow money, but I ain't give it to him. So now he like, when we see zero, let's run up on him and give it to him. I wish him.
Right here.
You want to sit in?
What's the time today?
Yo, we're going to talk about it as we go. Look, we're going to do Monique. First, we're going to talk about the stuff that happened at this time. We're going to talk about Monique's day that they hard in the first hour. And second hour, we're going to do mental health.
I'm on my 17th season.
Right there. Play on that. We're going to play some. We're going to pause it. Chop up what we talked about. We're going to pause it. Yesterday. We're going to stretch this out too. Talk about this. We're going to talk about it. Move on. We're going to get started. You know, right here in this yeah, so it'll be up. Let me know when we got a minute left.
Right, I'm a player, but never touched your wife. Really trying to do you a favor, don't realize. Almost watching me like they undercovers and spies, and I can tell which ones, cause they can't look me in my eyes. Wonder why you ain't heard from them and they can't be found. I bet you can find them if you look at the ground. I know you rap about the you ain't go through. I always telling people you did just how I do. I'm a gangster, capital murder, that's what I had. Cause they jail telling me less than a grand. Women, Facebook all the time, liking brother fights. You a modern day slave, no forgiving about your brother's life. To see us kill each other, won't even stand up for your brother rights. Old Ku Klux Klan for the tan. Always begging everybody for money when you ain't got none. Be acting like you don't know nobody when you got some. I don't owe you nothing cause you just came home. Like your name be on the same check that my name on. Matter of fact, I ain't get you from y'all when I came home. They be like, bro, I ain't no rapper though, my change ain't long. I can say these lives, but they still would complain. Appreciate you, but what took so long to hate, then they wonder why my attitude is off. If I'm real and y'all fake it, mean it ain't nothing we can discuss it all. I ain't hear about it, I was right there when that man got down. Shouldn't have been having so many conversations downtown. Women,
We are back, we here, we live, we direct, KHSX Power 101.5. We're about to be talking about a few things. Hey, Disneyland be on and popping. It looked like Disneyland might have to change their venue to an MMA arena. They might have to start doing MMA. I seen today that you remember the brawl at Disneyland.
No, nobody never gonna forget that.
You remember when?
Yeah, I remember that.
When everybody was getting punched out, it was real bad. You remember that, right?
Right, Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Right, Keith, you remember that?
Yeah, I seen it.
Baby Brian, did you remember the fight, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, the fight was going on at Disneyland. So the main guy, the guy in the red, they say he's facing up to 7 years now, y'all. Wow. 7 years. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that's justified? Do you think that's too much?
I mean, it's a lot. He put a lot of people in danger, and he really wasn't caring about nobody. But it say right here, he charged with 5 felonies and 9 misdemeanors. Like on your own family members.
Right. And then he got spat on first, and he seemed to lose it. So he got spat on. Do you think that was reason for him to go charge? What's up, Keith?
I don't
Was he
know.
ready to charge?
He might have been dealing with some mental issues, unfortunately, and or some other stuff could have been going on, because the way that he acted in that video, it was really crazy.
It was crazy.
Listen, it say right here, even as he left, he was yelling in his car he was gonna kill some of his family members, and he tried to hit a couple of Disneyland employees with his car.
Wait, so he tried to hit him with the whip?
He has been charged with felony domestic battery with corporal injury and one felony count of assault with a force likely to produce great bodily injury, assault with a deadly weapon, and 2 felony counts of criminal threats. He also faces misdemeanor battery and child abuse and endangerment charges.
Wow.
He was racking them up.
Keith,
Yeah.
what was he
He
doing?
even punched a Disney employee. I mean, it goes on, and it also says 9 misdemeanors and 5 felonies. So,
Okay.
but you can't blame him, because he did scream out, "I'm ready to go to jail tonight. I'm ready to
He
go."
did.
You don't mess with
So-
nobody. They don't care
He was
about
ready.
you.
He
So-
wasn't even the only one, though. It's the whole family
The whole
out of there.
family,
You got
yeah.
his sister facing 5 misdemeanor charges and an assault charge. You got her husband facing 6 months. Look, man,
Hey,
what's really going on with this
I don't
family?
think the other dude, the last dude in the white shirt, I don't think he should be charged, because he was actually running away like, this dude means business. He even came out and be like, hey, I didn't even do nothing. I walked away from it.
Right.
But-
Hey, it seemed like the dude in the white was trying to be like, I'm not going to let him hit on these women. And then as soon as dude got serious, he was like, go ahead and hit on these women.
Yeah, that's because he was like, I'm not gonna let you hit these women. And he said, after he said, I'm about ready to go to jail, he was like, I'm not letting you go hit you, hit me neither. So I'm about to walk by this.
Right. He said, I got to get on. It was too much. Hey, that was deep, Keith. Do you think that 7 years is too much? Or do you think he should cop a plea deal when they say, hey, we'll give you 3 years if you take it right now? What you think?
Nah, I mean, the way he beat his girlfriend up, even after the fact, I mean, it was crazy. The way he was hitting on his sister and his girlfriend, I don't know.
He was mad because they made his mama fall. You can't make my mama fall. He went ham. Baby Brian, did he go too ham?
I'm gonna say he did, but I mean, it's
7 years.
7 years,
That's
but
a long
you
time.
said
You gave him a reason though to stick that on you
But look,
like that. I
it's
mean,
like
look
this.
at the extent of all this.
It is true. But the family members need to step up, because I'm pretty sure that was not the first time they fought like that. It just
Yeah.
happened to be the first time at Disneyland.
You think they be scrapping like that all the time,
All
John?
the time.
Yeah,
the way he
Y'all, let's
punches
take it
his
outside.
sister.
But then the whole park is outside, so
They can't take it outside. They was outside.
family
I mean,
reunions be
he
lit.
grabbed his sister by her head, dragged her, punched her in the face, had her on the ground, like, it was crazy.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But like I said, I believe what John said. I don't think this was the first time. That just looked like too normal. It looked like something they
it's
do.
too easy
You know what
to
I
do.
mean?
Like, we have a disagreement, let's punch it out and then get on this ride.
All right, now look. You guys tell me if I'm wrong, and hey, I'm sorry, but I gotta say it. Why did moms fall like that? Moms fell like
Slow motion.
Oh, slow motion. Moms fell like I'm about to get a check.
Oh,
She was trying to, but you can't get a check if it's your family doing it.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
that's true.
but she was thinking, hey, I'm at Disneyland, something's going wrong, I'm about to get a check. She fell slow motion. I said, Moms, how did you fall like that?
Hey, did you see her fall on the chair and the little boy was still in the chair, drove off with the car?
No.
He looked like he the one pushed her out.
No, are you serious?
But
He
she
was
laid
in-
there for a minute, too.
Yeah, she laid there for a minute. She wasn't that hurt. She was all right.
She probably was thinking, like, this is my family. I should not believe this is happening.
You know what the thing is? Sometimes black people just rent those handicapped cars just because.
Why
She
it gotta
probably
be
just
black
had, like,
people,
a
John?
side angle or
Why on a
something.
Wednesday it gotta be? Why it gotta be black
Everybody
people?
does it. When you go to the
Don't do our
grocery store,
people
you,
like that.
you ain't never got one of them cars at the grocery store?
No,
Well, me neither.
no.
I get in them cars all the time, man.
No. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that wasn't the only thing that happened at Disneyland. Look, hey, baby Brian, like I said, I was thinking, maybe one day we might, fly up back to California and go to Disneyland. But I'm like, hey, it's too. Besides the ticket price, all this MMA going on. We had a woman. She gets a lifetime ban from Disney World after punching employees over fast pass dispute.
Wow, really?
Over
We
yeah.
We that petty out here now?
Yeah,
You know how much a fast pass is after you already paid $200 to get a point, bro?
And then
Yes,
like
I'm
$20
punching
for
somebody
churros.
too.
You punching somebody too?
This is why they say Disneyland is the happiest place on earth. No, it's not, bro. It's the most unhappiest place in the world. Because after you go there, you broke, you can't afford nothing, and it's your kid can come up like, Daddy, can I have some water? Water?
Water.
I pay for a kid. Here you go ask me for water? And you know, water, they got fountains over there. And you know, people, they charge for everything, man. You go to this, and they don't let you bring lunch in there. I don't think you got to leave it in your car. Nobody want to eat hot bologna sandwiches.
Or some cold fried chicken.
Yeah.
Right, look, check it. Jessica Grimes, 23, was waiting in line for Hollywood Studios' popular Twilight Zone Tower of Terror ride on July 23rd when the incident occurred. According to the Miami Herald, the Orange County Sheriff's Office said the Chicago woman became displeased and verbally aggressive about the situation, prompting Disney World employee Taylor Grangert to call security. Grain started punching the bottom of the Tower Terror podium, some of which could affect the ride. So she was punching on the podium, and it can affect the ride while people were riding.
Oh, the podium that the controls.
Yeah, the podium.
All
She
the
got it.
wires in
Look,
there.
she got up to the front. She said, "Hey, here go my fast pass. We're ready to get on." The lady at the ride, she gave her the Nate dog. She said, "Hold up, wait." And so she didn't want to do that. She didn't want to wait. She said, "Nah, I've got my fast pass. I'm ready to get on." And she threw a tantrum.
Yeah, and then she had the nerve to punch those buttons on the terror podium as well, which could have affected the ride as well.
That's real
She
terror.
possibly probably didn't know that part. She was just doing that in anger.
gonna push some stuff.
But at the same
Pushing
time,
buttons.
look, money clogs the memory a lot, bro.
Money clogs
You
the
forget
memory.
to act right when you
Explain
wasted your
yourself.
money and somebody is not giving you what you paid for. It seems to cloud your mind, your sanity.
But they said it was her pass was invalid, so it wasn't that.
It wasn't. It
Right.
might have been.
It wasn't that she was
right, but
current.
Was it the first ride she been on that day? If it was not the first ride she been on that day, she was using it all day, then somebody else should have told her that. He was probably the only person, or she was probably the only person that looked at the fast pass. But even in that situation, what is it to let somebody on the ride if it's just like one or two people?
I have
That's what I
a job to uphold.
Like, really? We
Why,
that petty right
why
now?
you can't let her go? Like, that's like the people at the drive-thru, like, can I have like 4 ketchup packets and they give you 2?
Right.
You don't want to waste it. Them ain't your ketchup
All
packets, bro.
right, hold on. Well, in
There's no
defense
limit.
of
There's
this
no
person that I don't know, Disneyland waiting in line, everybody's mad, right?
Yeah.
So we get somebody up here, and because when she ran it, gave her the fast pass, when she ran it, this is invalid. So once she say that, now the whole line is looking. Now you gonna let her go through with an invalid fast pass when everybody looking? Everybody, you know what? This is Disney World.
You should have.
It's
You just
summertime.
embarrassed her.
John, it's hot.
It
Y'all better not, if you wait, I know, John, I know you. You wait in line, you looking like, they better not let her go. They better not let her go. We got Shauna J, the extraordinaire, the journalist, get things right all the time. Do what you got to do. Shauna J, let the people know who you are real quick.
Right, so she came all the way from Chicago, and you know, I used to live downtown Chicago.
Right.
So if you start messing with Chicago is going to pretty much go hard.
They're gonna react.
Right.
So,
Quick.
Chicago, they're northerners, but it's still Chicago. So that being said, she had access, just for the record,
Right.
she had access to the park,
Right.
but not for this particular popular ride.
Right.
Did she have access to? So you pay a premium price, you have
Right.
premium access.
Right.
But unfortunately, her pass did not allow her to do so. And then, she made the employee know that she was not happy with the situation.
Right.
She probably wasn't aware that the group that paid for the pass didn't pay the premium price.
Right.
So all she knew was that she had access without regard
Right.
to being limited
Right.
or having limitations to enjoying herself.
Right. And she didn't like the way that she was addressed.
Yeah.
And I get it. I understand not liking the way that you're addressed, but I also understand having a JOB. And when you hit that button and it say, this is not verified, you cannot get on this ride that way when you have thousands of people watching.
Yeah.
thousands of people watching. That could get tricky.
Yes, it's like being at dinner and they come back with your credit card and it's denied. And they say it loud, like, this one don't work. You got another one?
Now, what if you don't? And what they supposed to say? Well, you can leave for free.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna say, "Well, my credit card don't work."
No, I'm
either.
gonna just tell them, give me a second. I gotta go to the bathroom.
We got these dishes back there. Hey, do they still do that too? Like when you can't pay for your food at a restaurant, they take, hey, go on here, we got some dishes for you.
They
So
call the police.
So
Yeah, they call the
it's-
police.
Yeah, they
You going to jail
Ain't
today?
no sense.
You know you didn't have no money when you came here.
I don't know about doing no dishes. I don't think that's what they do anymore. Hey, you guys, we're about to take a break. When we come back from the break, we're going to get into this Monique and Steve Harvey thing. We want you to call in, chop it up with us. The phone number is 346-330-9473. KHSX, this is Soapbox Heroes. We really about to get into it right after this.
Let me take y'all back, man. As I do so well. Wasn't nothing like that. Man, it wasn't nothing like that first time. She was in my math class. Long hair, brown skin with the fat. Sat beside me, used to laugh, had mad jokes. The teacher always got mad, so we passed notes. Started off so innocent. She had a vibe and a man in his dog. I was a young and straight crusher. A man in his dog. But if they couldn't wait to get to school, beat on the table. Beat on the table. Don't sleep. Oh, did we wake you? I'm on it bad, and I ain't never been obsessed before. She wrote a note that said you ever had sex before.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to copy one of you guys' Facebook things because mine's about to go off. My phone has no sense. I have 1%. I'm gonna get it from you guys. I have YouTube.
My mama gone for the weekend, so Saturday, baby, we be getting freaking. That's when my heart starts racing and my body starts sweating. Baby, you don't want my little man up. I'm thinking how that body look naked when you laying on the bed.
All right, baby Brown, when we come back into this, just stay over there, and then we're gonna bring up the Monique, and we're gonna start playing the Monique. But put your headphones on so you can hear the levels, and we start playing.
You introduce it.
Yeah, I'm gonna introduce it. You start playing it, yeah, and just chop it up. And after we chop it up, come on and try it, and we'll be back. So we're gonna get into it. This is a very interesting interview.
Is this back from when she
Yesterday.
So this is reflecting from when her and Steve was in that couch.
Yes, sir.
I remember that interview.
Yes, sir.
Hoping that she won't notice it's my first time. I'm hoping that my is big enough. And most of all, I'm praying God don't let me bust quick. I'm watching pornos trying to see just how to stroke ride. Practice putting condoms on. How we go ride. I'm in a crib now, palms sweating. With a pocket full of rubbers and an erection. That's when my hands start touching and her face starts touching.
How much time we got, bro?
Over on top. And then she get my pants unbuckled and her hands start rubbing on me. Ooh, girl, don't stop. It's time for action. Pull out the condoms real smooth. Yeah, that's how I practice. But right before I put it in, she flinched and grabbed it and said, I wanna get something off my mental. I can tell you a pro, but baby, be gentle, cause I ain't ever did this before.
30 seconds.
And I ain't ever did this before.
Alright, I just sent you guys
And I ain't ever did this before, no. And I ain't ever did this before, no. And I ain't never did this before, no. I ain't never did this before, no. And I ain't never did this before, no. And I ain't never did this before, no.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back. Hey, we about to talk about Monique. You know, sometimes a lot of people like to talk and beat around the bush. I kind of really want to get into it. Monique was going through some things. It started with Netflix. She felt like Netflix didn't pay her the proper amount for the work that she had done. Netflix had offered her $500,000 when they were giving male counterparts 3-4 times the amount of money. Now, the opposition was saying, well, and I won't say opposition, just the voices against her were saying that she doesn't have the dossier of work to claim that much money, that she wasn't presently out there doing comedy. Then there was opinions on both sides. Let me fast forward a little bit. She goes on Steve Harvey's show, and Steve Harvey started giving her advice on what he thinks she should do, what she shouldn't do, how he felt as if she was starting problems with the wrong people, you know, all that good stuff. And so I know you guys have kept abreast of it, and Monique has been very vocal on what she thought. And I ran across an interview just yesterday where she was talking about Steve Harvey. Now, we know that Steve Harvey has lost some of his television gigs. Have he lost all of his gigs, you guys, or just some of them?
Just 2 of his shows.
The 2 of his shows? And so there were some things going on with Steve Harvey. And so now Monique is giving a candid interview on what happened. So unlike everybody else, we gonna chop it up and we gonna chime in. Look, I got Keith with me, I got John with me, I got Shauna J, Baby Brian, and you. You guys give us a call, 346-330-9473. Baby Brian, go ahead and get into it.
And let me say this, and I'll try to say this with love, but I say it because it's how I feel. I've never met so many cowards in our black men in show business. I've never met so many black men that have no goddamn backbone. What happens in our community, they've got us chasing the bag and not principle and not integrity. Because when all of that start hitting and all of that start going on, I heard my brother with my own ears say, she's burned too many bridges. And I don't know if there's anything I can do for her. And that hurt my feelings because I'm like, brother, you never pick up the phone and say, hey, Mo, what's going on? Before you went on the air and you said to millions of listeners, she's burned too many bridges. You were a part of pushing that agenda before you even act.
So what do you guys think about right there? Right off the jump, she said that before Steve Harvey started saying that, you know, she went too far, he didn't tell her. She said that she never even got the jump on it, that he just started kind of like bad-mouthing her before she could say anything.
At that point, where she talking about she had went too far, at that point, people have already circulated stories about this woman, so I'm sure everybody has been talking about it already. She already knew she went too far. He was just saying, hey, you went too far. Like, you don't got to personally call somebody every time they go too far and tell them. They should already know. And as far as burning bridges, we say that to people all the time. People come back and they try to do stuff and they keep messing up. You know what? You burn your last bridge with me. I can't help you, because if I help you and you keep messing up like this, then it's going to mess up how I look. And then I'm going to burn some bridges with people that's helping me get my money. So that's up to you to act right if you want to keep your cash. It's not up to me to call you and tell you to calm down.
What do you think, Shauna J? Do you think that Steve Harvey should have called her first and let her know something?
Well, either way, Steve Harvey is a comedian.
Right.
And he's always been that guy that has had the liberty of speaking his mind freely without any repercussion or phone call or text messages or anybody saying, you know what you said was wrong, what you did was wrong. Steve Harvey is the real deal.
Okay.
Bernie Mac was the real deal.
Okay.
D.L. Hughley was the real deal. Cedric the Entertainer. They all have had the opportunity to let America know the authenticity of being able to speak however they want on any issue has been okay.
Okay.
All of America has done quite the same thing, but when it comes to these two, and I think what they have had in the past, he has had the liberty to feel free because they're friends.
Okay.
They have had a relationship for
Right.
many, many years.
Right.
The queens of comedy and the kings of comedy
Right.
are married.
Right. They're together.
So,
they coexist
absolutely.
together.
Absolutely.
Okay, Baby Brown, what do you think? Do you think that Steve should have gave Monique a little heads up?
I mean, me personally, I come from the mindset I feel like nobody on this earth owe anybody anything, but just long-term colleagues, friends. I mean, he could have, but he wasn't obligated. And at the end of the day, I mean, you dig your own grave. I mean, you gotta sleep in it, or you gotta have the cojones to dig yourself out.
To dig yourself out?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think, Keish?
I feel like she was, you know, feeling her pain, and she was just expressing how she felt, and I believe that they should have had her back. I feel like if the table was turned and it was them that was dealing with what she's dealing with, they would have wanted her to have their back as well. So I feel like it is about more than the bag. It should be about the principle and about integrity, like she stated.
Okay, I think Monique had a right to kind of be in her feelings a little bit because they were friends. They did have not just a working friendship, but an off-camera friendship.
Mm-hmm.
They confided in each other. They looked for advice in each other. And before Steve Harvey go on and he enters into the narrative that other people are putting on her, I would just think, as the homie, you just buzz in one time. Let me know what you think personally. Hey, baby Brown, go back about 5 seconds and hit play, and let's continue. It ain't gotta be perfect. There you go, right there.
Hurt my feelings because I'm like, brother,
Okay.
you never pick up the phone and say, hey Mo, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Before you went on the air and you said to millions of listeners, she's burned too many bridges. You were a part of pushing that agenda before you even asked me what was going on. So when I got on the show, I knew I needed to have that conversation because you wasn't returning my calls. You wasn't returning my texts. See, I gave you the opportunity to have a private, come on, people say, why didn't you talk to him privately? I gave him the opportunity to do that. My texts and my calls went unanswered and unreturned. And someone would say, well, why wouldn't you return it?
All right, baby
If
Brown.
you put out there that we have this relationship.
See? Go ahead, John.
See, now don't get mad at me, but what she said was my calls and my texts went unanswered.
Right.
So then she got in her real feelings and became real petty female-ish. Like, I'm gonna put you out there. Listen, if a dude don't call you back or text you back, it's done.
You know what it is.
You should know what it is. So don't get in your feelings. Be a grown-up and just be like, okay, I thought we was friends. Apparently we not. Let me just go on. He already said what he think I did, so let me just take that in as his last friendly advice and go on. But instead, you want to keep putting kerosene on the fire. He got his money. He good. So you can sit there and talk all you want about the man. You still looking for work. You still burning bridges.
They weren't in that type of relationship for her to get in her feelings behind him not answering her call. It was more so for her reaching out to him as a friend. Yeah. And I think she was hurt more so because of the respect that she thought that they had for each other. It wasn't like, oh, I'm in my feelings because you didn't answer my call and I'm a petty female or a petty woman, as you stated. No, she's not being petty. She was more so like, where's the respect? Where's the love? We're friends, right? We go way back. So as, you know, in our friendship, why didn't you reach out to me? Why didn't you answer my calls? Why didn't you answer my texts? Where's that?
So if you have a good friend and you going through something, they don't come through for you, do you blast them out on social media for doing that?
She didn't blast him at first. She went directly to him and he didn't return her calls or texts. So she went to him and gave him that opportunity. Let's talk. I'm calling you because this is what's going on over here. What's going on? Why aren't you having my back?
I honestly feel, you know, at the end of the day, two long-time friends have had their own opinion, and it just became public.
It just became public.
Mm-hmm. And no one would have ever known had either gone public for or against the other had they done so. Mm-hmm. So let it be what it is. And we can say the female or we can say the guy. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter, because in any relationship, you know, guys call each other and they, you know, burn the bridge because they owe each other money.
Right.
I played you a game of chess last night, but you never paid me back, and I beat him in here, and he owes me $10,000.
Yeah.
Right.
So what?
So what?
But at the end of the day, you have two great comedians that still need to figure out where they themselves are going. Where are they going? Where's Steve Harvey going with his relationship, and where's Monique going with her relationship? Or excuse me, with her career.
Yeah.
I mean, with their careers, because they are talents.
Right.
Talents, man.
Right. And I think that's what Monique is trying to figure out too right now. It seems like Steve Harvey is just like, I'm gonna sit back and absorb this stuff and see what's going on. What do you think about what you heard, baby Brown?
More so focusing on Monique. I mean, she's hurt, man. I'm looking at her in this video and she's pained by even just the thought, I don't think ever she would have thought she would have been able to call, just understanding the history of that relationship, she would have been able to call or would have called on the likes of Steve Harvey and would have got the response that she got from him. And so I think even now she's still processing that. And the initial interview happened all the way in February earlier this year.
Yeah, I know it happened earlier a while back.
And the remnants of that is still carrying on and over. So I mean it's a delicate situation. I mean it's honestly a delicate relationship when you're talking about two talents. So I mean it's definitely something to pay attention to, because it does bring up a valid point that she's making in money versus integrity. I think we fight that battle, us people
all
of
the
color,
time,
more than any
all the time. And the more money we make, the more the fight is going to become prevalent. That is going to be a point. When I think about it, I think that Monique, like I said earlier, I think she has a right to be hurt because she tried to contact Steve. That's what she said. I kept trying to call you, you wouldn't answer. But then Steve went out and blasted her, John. So you don't take my calls, but then you go out and blast me, but we're friends.
This is what I'm saying. He don't have to talk to her.
And he don't have to blast her either.
Y'all keep saying friends. People throw that term around so loosely. Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody is there for themselves. You can say what you want to say. I got everybody back. We gonna ride or die together. When that day comes for you to die, your friend is not gonna be there because nobody want to die with you.
Okay, now do you have a right to be upset with that person for giving that implication? Because Steve Harvey has been on the record many times saying that they were friends.
You do have a right to be mad, but at that point, when that person keeps showing you their butt cheeks like that, Nick, it's over. Just walk away. It's done. You don't why keep stressing yourself out? While she keep making these videos about Steve Harvey, he still sits back collecting checks. While she's sitting up there with her hair not done, looking like that.
Oh, come on now.
Crying about some stuff. Get yourself together. Get over this mess. Life goes on.
Now, mind you, she's being interviewed by somebody else, which means she was probably approached for the interview. She hadn't said anything in a while. Hold on 1 second. So you're trying to say that she should just shut up, even though Steve Harvey will go on and blast her on a nationally syndicated show? She's supposed to still be quiet?
She doing this.
Was Steve Harvey blasting her live for a check? What's the difference? So it's okay for Steve Harvey. Go ahead, baby bro.
Well, the reason she's even in this predicament too, you have to remember, and even the situation back in February where all this kind of spurred off and started, the situation with Netflix, she was promoting a show, her own product that she wasn't getting paid for, just off top. So she felt like she was putting her energy into something coming from being the talent that she is, and she wasn't getting compensated for it in any level compared to what she felt like it should have been. And I can understand that just from a...
Whose fault is that? If you willing to work for free, whose fault is that? You need a better management team to talk them dollars to whoever you're making them deals with. Now, Netflix was giving out crazy money to people that shouldn't have got it, but you don't come on air and be like, why they doing it? Why do it? You know what you do? You go up there and be like, look, I got this show, let me do this, let me do that, let me do this. But she had already had a thing about having an attitude with everybody. It was going around. That's how she ended up getting blackballed. If you hear that people say, hey, you hard to work with, that's what I'm hearing, hey, cut it out. Because at some point, you're going to get fired.
Okay, now see what you're saying. That's part of the thing. She's trying to say that that's a machine. That's something that's been perpetuated about her that isn't always necessarily true. If you listen to some of her stories, she's normally coming to protect somebody lower than her. And by her doing that, it makes somebody offended. Like, why are you protecting them? Then she's hard to deal with. Okay? If you're picking on Shauna J, and Shauna J, let's say she's a quieter person. Let's say you rank higher than her. And we're just saying this for pretend. We all are equal here. So let's say, for example, you rank higher than her. And let's say I rank higher than you. Or at least you're equal. Now, you constantly put her down, and I step in front and say, look, you're going to have to stop putting her down. You're not going to put this sister down no more. Now you might say, Monique is hard to deal with. And then somebody else might see that incident and say, Monique is hard to deal with. When the truth may be that I'm protecting somebody else. And then Steve Harvey go out and perpetuate that without even speaking to you. When you be hurt, is that not? It is. You never see somebody get painted in a bad light for nothing?
Yeah, I've seen it all the time, but at the same time, sometimes you gotta let other people fight their own battles. If I'm bullying her or something like that, you can step in, but if you keep seeing people say every time she step in, it's like she's trying to cause a problem, you need to take that person who's getting bullied to the side and be like, look, I can't keep sticking up for you. At some point, you're going to have your own voice because I'm getting backlash off of it. So if you're trying to protect somebody like that, they got to step up for themselves, or they going to be hiding behind you the whole time and making you look bad while they still got their job.
I agree with you, John, but there's times when just people need help and they ain't doing nothing. That's the only way they getting out of their situation. My 2 cents on that is, especially, I mean, you just have to understand your role. The higher you go in tier in your profession, taking the higher road, taking on certain responsibilities. Everybody heard the notion, more money, more problems. Mm-hmm. I believe that reflects more so because when you're reaching for your money, when you're trying to grind, come up, you're taking on more further responsibilities. Mm-hmm. More responsibility brings on more problems. Mm-hmm. Brings on more weight on your shoulders that you're willing to carry, and that even speaks tenfold when you're trying to stand up for other people. Mm-hmm. You're carrying other people's load. You're naturally increasing the load on yourself. So I mean, you just have to be that much smarter about understanding who you are and picking your battles. You have to pick your battles when you're playing that kind of position. So that's just how I feel, and I feel like she just bit off too much she could chew. You just got to taking them swings.
You got to know when to stop it.
Okay.
Like you said, when you start carrying other people's loads. I don't want to carry your load. I have my own stuff to carry. Now, I will help you lighten your load, but I'm not about to take on your full load. Like, at some point, you have to learn, like, I'm carrying my own stuff, and I know people need help through that, and you can help people. You know, like,
look,
birds got to help their young fly, but after they learn how to fly, they leave them alone. Y'all on your own after this.
Okay, let me say this. Anytime somebody is in the vanguard of trying to bring on change, they are always vilified. We could go throughout history and name anybody who's tried to bring on change, and somebody's out there to tell them shut up. Now let's remember what she's talking about. She was mad because she's saying women of color are getting paid equally. Now, of course some people want to dump on that. If you really want to back up and look at what she's saying, that's going to be a fight that somebody has to be in front of, and that person is always going to be the person that gets dumped on. Yep. They offered her $500,000. They offered Amy Schumer $11 million. Amy Schumer 11. You say, whoo? She said that's not enough. She told Netflix, I want 20. I want the same amount as Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. And you know what Netflix said? Okay, you got it. You got it. And then so when she says $500,000, we're saying, shut up, Monique. Shut up, Monique. And that's why she is mad, because she's saying that these black women are not getting the same things that other people are getting, including black men and white women. And so that's what she's on. That's why people want her to shut up.
She should have went to Amy Schumer and said, hey, we got to work on something like this, because a lot of females comedians want to get paid.
That's not even Amy's role. Like, she ain't even.
That's
she
not
don't
Monique's
fit.
role.
Yeah,
No, Amy would have been the recipient.
Yeah.
She was already the recipient of being paid.
Right.
Very well.
Right.
11 million.
And she said she wanted 20 and got 20 million, not 11.
But Monique is not somebody that is a political, business savvy kind of. She just lets you know this is
who
what
she is.
And so did Big Mama. If y'all remember back in the day. Monique is never going to be the kind of woman. She's very candid. She's very authentic. She's Monique.
Right.
That's just who she is.
She's Monique.
But Steve Harvey did give her a platform on the Steve Harvey show about 7 months ago to talk about the same people.
She gonna get into that, baby Brown. Let's get back to the clips and let's get into it a little bit more.
And this friendship, but when it came about, oh, you're going against the powers that be, and I want the powers to be that no, I'm not on that side. So I'm going to say what it's going to take for them to know I'm with the machine. I'm not about equality. I'm not about what's right and what's fair. So when I went on the Steve Harvey show, I knew the conversation I was going to have with my brother. I didn't know the conversation he was going to have back with me.
He said something. He was on D.L. Hughes' new show.
Yes.
Did you guys kind of see the conversation?
Yes.
He mentioned that he edited the interview to protect you.
Yes.
What didn't we see in that interview?
Tell them what they didn't see.
Well, let me say this. When I watched Steve on the D.L. Hughley show make that comment, and see, I'm trying to learn how to not take things personally, okay? That's the Sagittarius in me because we fight.
Hold on, stop right there. Stop right there.
To your
Look,
point.
That's
to
the
your
problem
point.
right there.
To your
Trying to
point.
learn how to take, not stuff, take stuff.
To your point, we're going to get right back to it, baby Brian. I just wanted to stop and give you recognition to your point. John, you know, hold on, everybody. Shout out to John. Shout out to John. Shout out to John.
I'm getting hand clapped. Let me ask something. I know when other people feeling pain and when they're being petty, I love doing it. I love doing it. But you can tell when somebody taking something too personal and then they just ruining their whole life by themselves.
But doesn't sometimes pain perpetuate change?
Well,
She's feeling the pain of being treated unjustly. So should she that pain
said
is
she
leading
working
to
on it right
something.
now. She needs to work on it.
She needs to work on it, but sometimes pain is the voice of reason when you're not being heard.
Her reason
Right.
is the voice of her not getting paid.
Let's get back to it, baby Brian. Let's get back onto it. Let's see what Monique got to say.
And when I saw him say, I had to edit things out to protect Monique. Well, I said air the whole interview because there's nothing I said that needed protection. But what you said was, yeah, I'm pissed that these white boys gonna do me like that. And them white boys were supposed to call me, and them white boys and them white boys. Well, all of that got edited out.
Pause that. Pause that. See, this is what I'm saying. Did she have a reason to be mad? Now, they're making it like they're editing the film to save her. But according to Monique, we're just going to say according to Monique. I can't say I wasn't there to quantify this. But according to her, she says, the part that got edited out was the part where they were saying the stuff negative to the white guys. Right. That's what they edited out. So does she have a right to be mad that behind closed doors, they're treating her like we agree with you, we know where you're coming from, white boys this, white boys that, but then in front of the cameras, they throwing her under the bus and editing out when they're saying the stuff that they acting like she said.
Everybody knows when you go to do a show and you do an interview, they're going to edit stuff out. You're going to talk about everything, but you're not going to hear. TV is edited, bro, because you have to protect yourself. You can talk as candidly as you want,
but why are you saying
you better be careful what you say?
Why are you saying you're protecting somebody else when you're really protecting yourself? I'm talking about her reasons for being mad. Would you not be mad if I said, look,
she should have known that show was going to make her look bad with all the stuff that was already going around. I don't care if it's your friend or not. The closest people to that,
that's the part
that you know.
And so now you're being personal like she is. People
say friends. People keep saying friends. Like she keeps saying my brother. That dude don't want nothing to do with you.
But how do we know they didn't have that type of relationship? She's saying my brother, maybe. I mean, we all know how far they go back, right? Yeah. So apparently they did have that rapport.
If
they did have
they
that type of relationship.
he wouldn't have done that to
No,
her
that's
all.
okay. That's where I think you're wrong. I think that's where her feelings are. You're saying if he were friends, he wouldn't have did that. Maybe technically, but in her mind, obviously, she thought that they were friends. We got some sound coming on. Let's turn down that the sound coming from over there. We got something.
It's like being in the break room with your coworkers. Everybody talks about the boss behind the boss's back. When the boss walk in, what do we all do? Smile in the face because everybody trying to protect themselves. But it's always that one person who is going to stand up and say something like, yeah, we all feel like this. And when you say we, the rest of we is going to turn away like, nah, not me. So that's just how it goes. And I understand she's very mad. But, hey, at that point, those people are actually, everybody knows Hollywood is a sellout place. You got to rub people's backs when you don't want to. You got to talk nice to people you don't need to. You can work with whoever you want to. They might not like
John Harvey in the house, everybody. We got John Harvey in the house. John Harvey in the house. Forget your friendship. Just go get your paper. Look, that's all I'm saying is she's hurt. But I think she has a right to be hurt. These guys are acting like they're on her side in front of her. And look, that she thinks they're friends. Let's say they're technically not friends. She thinks that they are friends. Then they come out, act like they saving her, but they're really saving their own butt, editing stuff that they saying bad.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with her at all, but I just think she went about it the wrong way. She did not go it around the way that you have to pat people and treat them differently and talk to them the way you don't want to talk to them. She just went in there and started blasting off like, I deserve this, I deserve that. Like in hindsight, you don't deserve nothing because you ain't really worked that hard for it. If you can't
Whoa,
go in,
whoa,
if you can't go in, let me tell you like
Who are
this.
you to say how hard she worked? We don't
Look,
know what was done in the
let me-
background over the years. Do
But
you
look,
really know her
but I'm
resume?
saying like this.
Her resume is thick.
It is
Come
thick,
on, man.
but at the same time, you gotta be able to have negotiation skills. If somebody comes at you with 500,000, you don't yell back like I deserve whatever she got. No, you work your way up. Okay, 500,000 is
Don't
nice.
she got an
but
Oscar?
let's try to do this.
You said
Who
she worked her
cares?
way up. Hasn't
What?
she been around longer than Amy?
Amy
Yeah.
Schumer,
Okay, so
yeah.
what are we saying she needs to work her way up to?
I bet you Amy Schumer didn't go in there and be like, look,
She probably didn't have to.
this is what I say. I
hold
demand.
on.
Look, she didn't say those words. I demand 20 mil.
We
Yeah,
don't
she
know.
did. You're
We don't
wrong.
know.
Back up.
In her interview, she probably said that.
No,
but
she said
she
what-
didn't tell that to the
she
people
said
down
that
there.
as a woman, she wanted equality, so she wanted 20 million because
She
the men
wanted
were
20
getting
million. She didn't go in there and say, I demand that you give me this money or I'm not doing it.
So you said Monique went in there and demanded it?
You heard her.
No, this is a year
Why-
later,
why
2
they-
years
why-
later.
but
She
that-
said that
that's
it
how-
wasn't fair. They tried to renegotiate, and then they wouldn't even correspond back with her. They was like, no, period, point blank. And so look, let's run it a little more because we're gonna get to some other stuff. We're gonna run this and talk about it a little more. And we got a special guest coming up. Go ahead.
And when he said, I would have appreciated had them white boys called me up and told me what was going on. I said, oh, like I would have appreciated had you called me up before you went on to add to millions and told them about the bridges I burned. So see, when you have people that say things like, oh, I was protecting her, well then DL should have said, brother, what is it that she said?
Yeah.
Oh, it's an ad.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You think
No,
so?
I still stand by the fact that I think that they've been friends for many, many years. I still stand by the fact that she felt like he should have had her back in some way. We can't honestly say if he did come to bat for her or not. We don't know. All we can go off of is what Monique is stating right now. And right now, Steve Harvey hasn't really had her back in the media. He hasn't shown us, you know what, this is what happened. I got my sister's back. He hasn't, but we do know that they have this, in our eyes, relationship for many, many years. So it would seem that in some way, why is the face expression?
Oh no, it's a bug.
in some way, he should have had her back on the radio, on the TV show to let everybody know.
Okay, again, we are talking about Steve Harvey here. Steve Harvey, people gonna get mad. Steve Harvey, me, is a sellout, so it is what it is. He's the new day Jansen Jigaboo, whatever you want to call him. That's what he does. He wears suits, he smiles, he put on the big lips and the big mustache, and he say whatever the white dude want him to say.
He kind of going
Yeah,
with it,
boy.
but we just burning all the grapes this morning.
I never would go
Yeah. Hey, here, let's get back to it because we got today is an action-packed day. We got some Action Jackson about to come on. And look, let's play a little bit more and then we're gonna go in the break. Go ahead, baby Brian.
Let me say this, and I'll try to say this with love, but I say it because it's how I feel. I've never met so many cowards and our black men in show business. I've never met so many black men that have no goddamn backbone. And that bothers me. Because y'all know when the cameras aren't running, see, I know these people when the cameras aren't running. And that's what I look at my brother and I say, how dare you, Steve?
And the irony is, the same stick that he was pointing at Monique and trying to beat her with by stating she did not understand the business. Shortly thereafter was the same stick that they beat him with when they took away both of his.
Stop it right there, baby Brian.
Thank you.
Stop it right there, baby Brian. Hey, look, what we gonna do, we gonna go to break. We gonna wrap this up when we come back from break. We have Tia John in the building. We're gonna be talking about mental health. This is Black Mental Health Month. So we're going to be talking about it. So we're going to be bumping our gums talking about that when we get back. We will be right back. This is Soapbox Heroes, KHSX Power 101.5.
Yeah. This album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing.
You said, yeah?
All the people that lived above the buildings and all that, and that called the police on me when I was trying to make some money to feed my daughter. And all the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper, every day up in the limousine. Had
right now. Is he here? I'll be fine. Here, Mr. Brown. Let me sit right here.
I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Flipping over and stop. Way back when I had the red black lumberjack with the hat to match. Remember rapping good? The hard. You never thought that hip hop would take it this far. Now I'm in the limelight 'cause I rhyme tight. Trying to get paid, blow up like the world trade. Born sinner, but I was sit up and when I remember I used to eat
Can you trade with him? He's sit right here.
Lucy B, sick and free. Master Flex, love, bust, love, peace. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call a trip, same number, same hood. It's all good. And if you don't know,
That's how he plays. He a puppy.
and I'm all cheap. It's the Brooklyn way. The low west and Alizé keep me pissy. Girls used to diss me.
You got some charges
because they miss me. I never thought it could happen.
Baby Brock, can you take a picture of everybody at the table and send it to me when you get a chance? When you
From Mississippi down to the East Coast, condos and Queens, at the weeks, sold out seats to hear Biggie Small speak. Living life without fear.
We're about to talk mental wellness, mental health. They see you in that camera right there.
Oh, okay.
Stereotypes of the black man misunderstood, and it's still all good.
Oh, you know everybody? This is John. This is Charlotte J. Journalist extraordinaire. This is my Keisha. We call her Key. Author and poet. This is Baby Brown over there. Stanley.
Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
How much time we got, Baby Brown?
About a minute and a half. We can cut it to a minute.
Got to ride the limousine with the chauffeur. Phone bill about 2 G's.
101.5.
No need to worry, my accountant handles that. And my whole crew's lounging, celebrating every day.
Okay, I'll put you through right now. We'll put you through right after the song. Give me 1 second.
And she loves to show me off, of course. Smiles every time my face is up in the store. We used to fuss when the landlord dished us. No heat, wonder why Christmas missed us. Birthdays was the worst days. Now we sip champagne with
All right, we're gonna have a caller when we come off. You gotta press that button, hit flash, and that sends them to there. When the telephone come on, we good. Yeah, and make sure you turn them up. Let me know when you're ready for it. All right, I'll let you know quick.
and if you don't know, now you know.
How much time we got, Baby Brown?
I'm gonna go for 20 seconds.
Here, go ahead and lower it and turn on the mics and just bring us in with it low.
I got you. You good?
Hey, you guys, we are back. KHSX Power 101.5. My name is Tyrone Irvin of the Soapbox Heroes. Hey, who we got in the house today?
Hey, it's Keish.
Shauna J.
We got, come on, Tia.
Hi.
Get close. Hold on, Tia. Hi, Tia. Hey, Tia. We got
John the comedian.
And when you guys cannot forget, we always have Baby Brown in the house. Baby Brown working the boards, doing his thing today. Hey, we got a caller in the house. Let's go ahead and let the caller come through. Caller, what's on your mind? Caller, you there? Caller, I hear you in the background. Hello, how you doing? Turn him up just a little bit on the boards.
Good. Sound like you're cutting out a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear it. Turn up the monitors in the studio a little bit, Baby Brown.
It's difficult. Every time I call on the cell phone, it's a little tough.
Good.
But if you can hear me, I'm just going to say this on or off the air.
We can hear you. You on air.
Yeah, I'm Grayling out in California.
What's up, Grayling?
Anyway, you know, Monique, she's kind of, she's talking to her a rock and a hard place.
Okay.
She's a nice woman and everything. It's just that you got to have allies in Hollywood. And once you burn them bridges, it's kind of tough because, you know, most of the black entertainers, their stomachs a little bit squeamish to be associated with you, you know, because they're not trying to burn their own bridges with, you know, the people that control the industry. So, you know, they step away from you. She's got to understand that. She's got to fight her own battle, you know, clear up her own wounds right there and move forward.
Okay, right. And you're saying a lot of with John said, the comedian, and I understand that the dynamic. I'm also saying that I understand Monique being hurt because, like she said, I know these guys.
I really can't hear you that well.
Can you hear me?
Not really, no, I can't really hear you, man.
All right, here, let me see. Let me turn my mic up
it's
just
going
a little
high
bit.
and low.
All right, is it good right there? Can you hear me?
A little bit better, yeah. That's better, yes, sir.
All right, here, and you know we might have to have the station donate a brand new Boost Mobile to Greenland. You did? Hey, all right. I understand her being hurt because, like she was saying, she knows these guys off the air. And that's why she's saying that we have so many cowards in Hollywood. She's saying black men are cowards. So you know that your sister's getting done wrong. You agree that she's getting done wrong. But like you're saying, they got to keep alliances with people. So you're right, Greenland. Rock in a hard place.
Yeah, you know, the bottom line is, think about it. If you're sitting in a good position for your own career and your family, would you jeopardize your jewels to save somebody who had the opportunity to burn their bridges? Think about it.
I think that was her problem. I think she was sacrificing her jewels to sacrifice for other people.
Actually, it was recently an individual came out and said that, you know what, she's got a good following on social media and YouTube. Why don't she build up her own social following and reinsert her own skills and build her own empire that way? She's so skillful. She's got so much confidence in her talent, she could build her own circle around herself and still be viable and win.
I fully agree. Go ahead, Sean.
And so here we have a perfect
She
question.
can win.
And
But
here,
you gotta just say, hey, look, I'm gonna be, I got a career, I'm gonna have a career after the powers that be, and just push your own agenda. That's it.
right. So here we have a perfect question for what you just said. How does an entertainer like Monique get to the business of entertainment if she's not cognizant? If she's not cognizant, she's an entertainer. She is a comedian. She is an actor. She's an actress, right?
Right.
So how do we go from being the skill to being the business of the skill? So what side is she? Is she going to manage her own career? Is she going to be the producer and the actor like back in the day P. Diddy did when P. Diddy was a rapper?
Do it all at the same
and
time.
P. Diddy promoted all of the artists that he now knows today. No, it doesn't happen that way. It's not even logically possible. So she needs to get a camaraderie of people together, or a team of people together that would get on board with her with what you are saying to make it make sense. Now that's theoretically feasible.
Right, theoretically feasible.
Monique can't be Monique just being Monique. It's not possible.
Because she's Monique.
Absolutely.
And she's a comedian.
Yeah.
Hey, caller. Hey, thank you for calling, caller. Go ahead, make your last statement. We're about to pivot into mental health, and I hope that you would stay and listen because we have a very special guest. Everybody's very special. You know that, especially you, caller. But go ahead and wrap it up, make it quick so we can jump on to this next topic.
Okay, well, just to wrap it up, I understand everybody's opinion of her and everything, and you know, I don't really personally know the lady. I think she's got a lot of talent, but I think that she's probably pushing the envelope a little too far as kind of a spilt milk. I think as a professional, as an adult, once you realize that you got unsurmountable things in front of you, you take another high ground, another avenue, and then you search that good energy for positive things, and you'll win in the end. I think everyone has positive energy inside of them. You just got to finally just contact the heavens, the spiritualness of your big well-being, and move on forward.
All right, Greenland. Hey, thank you for Greenland. Hey, thank you, Greenland. A wonderful phone call. We love it when Greenland call in. Hey, you guys.
Before we switch gears,
okay.
I just want to say one last thing about Mom.
Go ahead.
She's not going to get the help she wants. She just called every black man in Hollywood a coward.
Oh.
No,
that is not the way.
You're doing what she said. There are too many.
But
she didn't say ever.
There are too many, and I said this.
You agree with her, but you're mad at her
because you can't say that like that.
No, you
because
can.
What we talked about last.
But there's too many cowards. That's
last
why
week when we said they always say you got to do these roles and white man run Hollywood. There's so many black actors that have enough money to put together and get their own productions together, and that's what we were just talking about. So she is right about there are a lot of cowardly black men in Hollywood, but you cannot come out and say that. Go to these people, have personal meetings, and be like, look, let's all get together and do something collectively as black people. That way we ain't got to worry about getting blackballed. We can whiteball some people. You feel me? So it's like crazy to me that she's going on and on like that.
I understand that. I understand taking the bulls by its horns. And while we talking about doing that, let's talk about this mental health thing. Mental health is something that goes on, and it's not always spoken about. It's always not giving the attention that it should be given. And so we have somebody special here. I've had Tia come on. I call her Little T because I'm Big T. And what? I think so. Hey, goodbye. And we've had some wonderful discussions on mental health, and so I thought that I'd bring her in today. T, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. As you said, I'm Tia John, and I have always been passionate about mental health. My career actually is in public relations. However, I experienced a breakdown myself, and so after that breakdown, I was like, what is it that I'm passionate about? Mental health was one of those topics that I was always interested in, and so I said, hey, let me dive deeper into the mental health field. So it's been a year and a half now. I've been grinding, learning, getting as much certification and education as I can about mental health and helping to educate our community about mental health.
Okay, and anybody sitting on the panel, if you guys got any questions, anything you want to comment, anything you want to throw in, feel free. This is a discussion I think we all need to have.
When you work with mental health patients?
So I provide education about mental health, about emotional wellness. I work for Mental Health America by day, but also I am a mental health advocate in the community and do a lot of workshops and trainings to the community about mental health, which is something that, of course, our community, there's still a huge stigma when it comes to the term mental health. And so part of what I do is provide education so that people know that not only, is it okay to talk about mental health, but if you are feeling like you are emotionally ill or not well, it's okay to speak up and say something about it, because we all go through things that are challenging and trying. And I think that when we hear the term mental health, we often think of mental illness or having a mental health condition. And so part of my education is helping to distinguish the difference between what mental health and mental wellness is and having a mental health condition, a diagnosable condition. And even those who are diagnosed with maybe depression or anxiety, they can still live a happy and productive life. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It just means that it's a condition, just like diabetes is a condition or high blood pressure is a condition. Having a mental illness, diagnosed mental illness is just the same.
Right. What are some good ways to recognize a mental health issue in somebody we love, friends, family, somebody we see? How do you recognize it?
So typically, of course, there several signs, and everyone is going to be different, but usually if there's something that a person is experiencing that lasts beyond 2 weeks, then that's when you know that that's an indication that something may be going on, that they may need additional help or additional assistance. So if they are sleeping excessively, if you notice that they're extremely emotional or irritable, if their eating patterns have changed, some people, go into manic states and they, have a burst of energy and they can't sleep or have insomnia and they're up all the time working and then they crash from being up, days at a
constantly
time. Weight gain. There are so many different indicators, and our body is going to tell us what's wrong with us emotionally, whether we choose to pay attention to it or not. So a lot of times, you know, people will have a diagnosis of, you know, high blood pressure, but it could be that they have anxiety, and that anxiety in their body is causing them and triggering them to have something like high blood pressure. So there's so many different things that indicate that you could not be emotionally healthy or emotionally well. And so it's important for us to not only pay attention to our bodies, but pay attention to the people who are close to us, who we love. Typically, you know, a spiral downward with mental health could be having some type of traumatic event. You know, all of us experienced Hurricane Harvey. That was traumatic for the entire city of Houston.
Very.
And so a lot of people, even if you weren't directly impacted by Harvey from, you know, being flooded out in your home or your car or your job being lost, we still as a city all experience that. And so paying attention to triggers now. A lot of people get anxious when it starts to rain or when they see rain in the forecast.
Right.
There's that panic and that anxiousness. I recently did a training at HEB, and they said that when it rains, it's good for them because the shelves are empty. People come
panic.
in, they panic, they
Wow.
come. And so this is, you know, an effect of something that we all experience traumatically. One of the things that we also don't talk about enough is the trauma that we've experienced just being black in America. The trauma that our ancestors have gone through, and it's scientifically proven that trauma does travel through the gene line. So we are disposed to heart conditions and diabetes and different diseases because of the trauma that is in our bloodline. So it's really important for us to do things to address that.
Yeah, you know, African Americans, you know, or blacks in general, holistically, have never had, we weren't raised to talk about where we stand emotionally, because we were built to be like the engine of a BMW with precision. You think, you work, you sleep, you eat, you talk, you raise kids, and you don't complain.
Right.
If you are ill, you get sick, you pop a lemon in hot water or hot tea and keep it moving. And that is how our African American kids are designed, and here we have it. So there is never really an outlet because it's so taboo, and it's so
yes.
And if incest, being bullied, being whatever the case might be, and you know, having a uncle or having a sister or having anyone in the family with a mental illness creates the burden in every child that has to live within the family or in the household, carrying the situation, because they're carrying the burden as well.
Absolutely.
It's not just, you know, so I know someone that was born with a tumor, and you know, many years she was in and out of the hospital, children's hospital. So what happened to the 5 siblings?
Right.
They had to spend
They had to
days
deal
in the
with that
hospital.
trauma too.
That was trauma
Right,
for them
and
too.
seeing it. Why is this so taboo in minority communities? In the black community, when it comes to mental health, it's kind of like remember back in the day they would put the mentally health the person with that whatever type of mental challenge, they would hide them.
Like a
in the
shame
background.
Why do we do that, Tia? What's going on, you guys? Why are we hiding the problem?
People are ashamed
Yeah,
in some way.
I believe that too, because I know a lot of people who go through stuff. But as black people, we feel like we put a price on everything. If I go get help, it's gonna cost me money. I'll deal with it on my own.
And my dignity.
Yes, my dignity. I don't want people to know that I'm doing
business.
this or doing that. But as you say, we have to look out for the way people's movements change or their habits change, because it's hard enough to look out for other people and not realizing that you might be going through something yourself, because you don't know how to handle what you're going through. I go through stuff like this on a daily basis where, you know, I have PTSD from having strokes, and it's really hard for me because there's a lot of people that don't understand me, because I still look healthy. I still try to hang out. I try to hang out and I try to do stuff, but at certain times my body's like, that's enough. Something's wrong with you. We need to go lay down or just go rest, clear your head. And I don't even know what I need to clear my head of, but I will go sit down, or if it's too much for me, I will call, you know, somebody just to try to talk. But I won't talk about what's bothering me. I'll talk about something else just to get feel like I'm talking about what's going on. But I never tell anybody what's wrong with me.
Protect that anxiety.
And that's the thing, because when we hear mental health or when we hear mental illness, we automatically go to a negative thought process. We
Right.
automatically associate a negative connotation. And so that's why people keep it a secret, because, you know, say for instance, a mother has a child who, you know, battles anxiety and depression. How are those other parents going to handle that, or how are they going to interact with her child, or have their child interact with her child?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people, you know, shun having or knowledge of a person having a mental illness.
Right.
So that's why people keep quiet about it if
Right.
they are going through something, you
Right.
know, and that's the reason why families, you know, they don't talk about it. They keep it a secret. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to face the, you know, issues that could have caused their family member to end up in the state that they're in, that is keeping them in that back room.
What happens to families when they hit the breaking point and they've exceeded the breaking point? Everyone,
Great question.
We can call it a mental breakdown, but you don't recognize when you have hit the breaking point that you're even at a breaking point. And so the question is, we've had these breaking points for so long in a family. Every family goes through something similar, and if not similar, right at it, right? I could be wrong, doctor, I could be wrong, but when you don't recognize it, because we run through the traffic light, we didn't know it was red, but we are 100 miles ahead of the traffic light. So
Right.
what do we do?
And that's why education is so important. The time is now for us to break those generational curses, break those cycles that have been happening in families, because it doesn't stop. Because if a child grows up in a traumatic environment or adverse childhood and it's not addressed, then we see later in life they end up either developing a substance use. You know, that's why things like alcoholism and turning to drugs is so prevalent, especially with our young people, because anything that we go through traumatic, it has to be faced and it has to be addressed and handled in a healthy way. If not, we continue to spiral until it impacts our health. I have a very good friend who usually comes on and talks with me. She it has been in mental health for all of her career, and she thought, hey, I'm doing it. I have family members that were impacted. I'm going to get educated. I'm going to do it. She kept tucking things under the rug when it came to things, you know, traumatic instances in her family life and her personal life. She is 38 years old and had to have a shoulder replaced, a hip replaced.
Yeah, we're gonna get her on too when she gets back. We're gonna do this again.
Yes.
Go ahead, Anna.
You've emphasized and touched on a number of points. I have got a little notepad here. I've structured a few questions and points, but just to, I guess, help out and carry on. One of my biggest questions: which more emphasis goes into kind of the preparation, proactive armor aspect? Like we refer to kids and children, you really have to protect them versus that kind of mental adversity that they're going, especially them being black and children of color, they're going to experience. And so black parents really have a certain responsibility of taking care of their children on a whole nother level that a lot of people don't quite understand. But you have that aspect coming from a younger age, but you also have to balance that, I believe, with dealing with the parents and the adults that are already here, just to even be able to facilitate that strength in children.
Absolutely.
So we also have to think about the reconstruction process, us being able to break out the chain of being able and willing to ask for help.
Right.
And that's a struggle for the black community. Always has been, most likely always will be to an extent, but just creating some flexibility, some wiggle room.
Right. And one of the reasons why, you know, this is a challenge for us is because, people don't know what they don't know. So they're unable to help their child if they grew up in an environment or in a situation that wasn't the best. They're doing the best they can, right? And so when it comes to them raising their children, even if their child may be exhibiting some signs or, there's something traumatic that happens in the life that impacts a child and they don't know what to do because they are like, well, listen, this is what I did. I just dealt with it and I kept going in life, not really taking inventory of how life has been, as a result of just tucking it away. And so a part of us helping our children is to make certain that we educate parents, that we have these discussions, that we're open, and that the more we talk about it, it's going to create an atmosphere and a culture where we feel comfortable admitting and acknowledging we've messed up along the way. And it's time for us to stop making the same, decisions that we made in the past, going about things the same way we have in the past, and changing and doing something different. So.
Yeah, and I have a question in regards to our youth. Boys going into manhood. A lot of them internalize a lot of different things, and even with transition from puberty, just going into that with everything outside in the outside world and school and the home and everything like that, it's so hard for them to open up to their parents, let alone to their peers, and let them know, what, I'm experiencing these thoughts, I'm depressed, I'm down, and instead of them expressing that, they internalize it. So what would you, as advice, what would you state that we can do to help them if you see a young boy that's just internalizing all of his feelings, but you see that he's down in a way, and you don't want to get him to that point to where it's then a breaking point or it's suicide.
And that's the thing, males in our society have been taught from the beginning of time to repress and suppress whatever it is that they're feeling. So if, a little boy and girl come through this door right now and they trip and fall, we're going to say to the little boy, get up, you okay?
Right, and the other kids are going to laugh.
And other kids are going to laugh, but we're going to say to the little girl, oh, are you okay? It's okay. We have taught our males over time, and this, especially in our community, to wipe the tears off, put your shoulders back, and keep going, man up. And that's why we're seeing an increased rate of suicides among young black males, because they don't have that outlet. So to answer your question, when we see these things happening in our black males, it's our responsibility to give them outlets. So, for many, sports has been an outlet. However, still within the sports arena, you can't just put a child in sports. You still have to layer that approach with maybe therapy or some other outlet. For some kids, sports or having some outlet may be enough, but if you introduce them to something like the arts or music and they still have some issues, then that's when professional help is needed. And so us being able to really pay attention to our kids and see different changes, know what they're going through, and be empathetic and not like, always from this parent standpoint of, well, I dealt with it, you deal with it, but really being empathetic, sensitive to what they're going through. Yes, and being willing to speak up and get the help that they need if it's necessary. And there's this huge, thought process that it takes, I don't have the money to do that, but there are local resources that can help you right where you are. The Harris Center is one of them. They provide services on a sliding scale, so if your income is zero, you still can receive services.
Right.
Jewish Family Services, a lot of people don't know that there are these agencies out there. It's not just for the Jewish community. It's open to anyone. They have one of the best youth therapy counseling centers here in Houston, and so, but you won't know unless you speak up and unless you inquire and ask about different resources when you see something happening in your child.
Right.
First of all, great topic. I'm really digging the conversation and how things are coming about. I'm Terry Frakes, by the way. I got a caller online that actually wants to get some information on how to, access reaching any one of you all. So just put the caller on.
Okay. Yeah, you're making some great comments there. Caller, if you can, turn down your volume in the background.
I did.
Okay. Hey, caller, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Okay, so I'm blessed. for sure.
Great, that's wonderful.
And I must first and foremost just say thank you guys for coming on here and addressing this. And actually, I just want to make a few points. Is that the conversation that you guys just previously had with about Monique and Steve Harvey? At the end of the day, it has so many threads to mental health.
We're talking about
and
now.
Steve, I actually saw the show, and Steve Harvey repeatedly said that if he dealt with the situation the way that he wanted to, then it would affect him.
Financially.
The effects would have been far-reaching in terms of him being able to take care of his family.
Right.
And you see, we as black people, we have been taught so much stigma about, from going to the white man, going outside the family, what happens in the family stays in the family, and and all of this brainwashing that we are so tied into that we don't even entertain addressing
getting help or talking about it out loud. We just kind of internalize it.
Absolutely. We're so busy. It's not about what we do. It's about who knows what we do. You see?
And nobody will know
don't
nothing.
even have a clue. How destructive we are to ourselves and even our children, and for us, by and large, we have taken the scripture in the Bible about sparing the rod, spoiling the child, that we think, hitting, being physically abusive, and even she alluded to some other points, about, these things were done to me, and look at me, I'm okay. Because, what we're aligning that belief up to what's okay to, we're so blind by it. We're so blind.
I have, and I could not agree with you more. And I think there was a word that you mentioned, and that word was disappear. Is that right?
I can't. I talk louder because I can't hear you.
Okay.
Because I turned the radio down.
Here's my point.
I have a hearing defect.
Okay. I'm going to project a little bit more. So I think that you mentioned the word disappear, and if you recall how blacks were treated and interacted with the society, with our white society, we had to create an illusion of disappearance. Am I right?
We had to create an illusion of
exactly
what?
Of disappearing. Of being invisible. Is that right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So what is the difference that we have held that in our society, economically, spiritually, religious, or however you want to interject it into the conversation, we really have sustained that in the black society. And I really have to bring that, because you mentioned a great point. And it's to disappear, and that means being visible. So we erase how we really feel, because will we really be heard? Because truly, since the beginning of time, black society, black America, has not really been heard. So where is the real outlet? So now there is another stigma when the doctor here, Dr. Johnson, talks about how we really need to address it, the anxiety. And I don't think parents really want to put children in a box where they're called a mental project. And that's a fact. A mother of a black son, thank you, and a mother of a black daughter. And so here I've raised a son and a daughter. And that's not where they're interested in being and ever have wanted, because they have competition. And they're teased and they're ridiculed and they don't want to be put in any project. So what do we call mental health, so we really get a clear message to our families raising children, whether we're men or women or boys or girls or the elderly or the young, it doesn't matter.
Right.
We're all this race.
Right.
We're all this ethnic background.
Right, and see, that's why it's important for us to look at mental health just as we would any other illness. So if your child breaks her arm, are you going to just take her to the church for the pastor to pray for her?
I was going to ask you that. Can we pray mental health away in 1 second? Caller, where are you calling from, by the way, caller?
I'm in Houston as well.
Okay, caller, look, I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. We got to wrap the call. We got to run here real soon. Hey, we love the support. Call us whenever you want. We are always glad to let you stand on your soapbox.
I need a number for Dr. Johnson.
You need a number for Tia. Her name is Tia Johnson. Matter of fact, Tia, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Facebook at Tia John, or on Instagram at Tia John Empowers. And also feel free to send me an inbox message or email. My email address is phone number? Okay, phone number 713-523-8973, extension 477.
All right, and Keisha also has something she wanted to say as far as getting help.
Let me 713-523-8973.
Extension 477.
Got it.
And if anyone is out there listening, if you need help, you need to speak to someone before, after, during this, please reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Their telephone number is 800-273-8255. Once again, that's 800-273-8255. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll be right back after this break.
To the new Power 101.5.
All right, we got to end it early. You'll call about the call because we got to choose.
You don't usually gotta stop till from 16.
I wasn't gonna ask, but
we're here to tell you about a different kind
we're
of
gonna be
stop.
done in 5 minutes.
She's just gonna come on and promote.
Yeah, well, she's just gonna promote something real quick, Terry. We're gonna be off at 1:45. They're gonna chop shop. They're gonna do a remote. So they're gonna be
Meditation is getting in the
It's the
and being
opportunity
quiet.
for America
There
to
are some
master
forms of
its kids
meditation that involve
and take an
movement.
active
There
state.
are some forms that involve, different breathing techniques or using fast-paced breathing. It's all different types of meditation. So it
Brad?
depends on what.
Brad?
Yeah.
Okay, one moment.
Yeah, I want to ask that.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of it.
We got to do this more. You know we have to do this
I'm
in
a fan of
installments.
meditation.
I
There are different forms.
can't stay.
Can we come in after the next break, Terry?
Right,
Yeah.
and some
Knock
people,
her out.
and it takes building,
I do yoga.
Yoga's out too.
Yoga's good. I like that.
I gave the wrong number. I have one number wrong.
We'll let you say it.
I'm not used to giving out my work number.
Just keep your card out.
Okay.
We're gonna come back after this
Yes.
break.
713-523-8963. I said 8963.
All right, 15 seconds, y'all.
15 seconds.
Calling the line, Talisha.
Billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We are back with the Soapbox Heroes crew. We in the house. We talking about mental health. Mental health. We had Tia John come and give us some wonderful information. One more time, Tia. Tia gave a number, and I was like distracting her, so I don't think she gave the number out right. So, Tia, if you can, give your number out one more time.
Yes, it's 713-523-8963, extension 477.
Yes, and call and make sure you call Tia. Call her. Hey, you guys, we got a caller on the line. Caller got something that she's gonna do. Go ahead, John.
We got a caller line. Caller, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Talisha Branch. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I also work with the Dear Nicklin Project.
And what is the Dear Nicklin Project? For those of
The
them.
Dear Nicklin Project is a nonprofit organization that supports young adults having challenges with mental health issues.
Okay. You have an event coming up this weekend. What is that all about? Let everybody know.
Yes, we do. We have a charity fashion show. It's called the Unmasking. Our goal with this fashion show is to have a party with a purpose. We want to unmask the stigma surrounding mental illness. So at this fashion show, you will see stylists, designers, and fashion, as well as entertainment for your spirit and your soul.
That's
so
nice.
we have Trinity Newman. She is a comedian and a hostess for the show. We have John Ward performing.
Oh, my bad. That's me. Yeah, it sounds good. That sounded good right there. It's gonna be on the chain now.
Yes, he is going to be bringing it. We also have yours truly, an amazing poet, who will be performing. We have some dancers and some other great.
You got room for another poet? I might know somebody.
Yeah, we got a poet in the house.
You got some room for another poet?
Quiet.
All right, here. All right. I didn't do that.
What's where's it gonna be held at?
It is going to be held at the Humboldt Civic Center this Saturday, July 27th at 5:30 p.m. We will be starting right on time, so doors open at 5 o'clock, so get there early. Admissions are $40 at the door, $35 pre-sale. We will also have vendors as well for companies prepared to shop. We have an amazing silent auction, so it's going to be something for everyone.
That's right. All right, and again, give everybody your information just in case they want to contact you on other issues that they have.
They can reach out to DearNicklin.com, and we're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of the social media.
She had Twitter, she Black Planet, you still got Black Planet?
Just stop.
All right, I appreciate you calling in and letting everybody know about the event this weekend. We're gonna wrap it up for this portion of the thing. We're gonna pretty much wrap it up for the day.
We gonna wrap it up. Hey, you guys get back with us tomorrow, 10 to 12, on your way to work. If you at work, whatever you're doing, KHSX 101.5. I DJ for the people, Soapbox Heroes. Get with us tomorrow. We'll see you soon. Rolling down the river. Nah, y'all make sure you roll on back.
Yeah, we did.
We don't. You want to do it again? Can you come back next week someday?
No, it don't. Whenever. I'm just saying. It's
No.
We
You know, we
unpack,
Your first
especially-
comment hit on a whole lot of stuff. Like, what's that?
All right,
Yeah,
y'all. Watch
especially
out.
with our kids, like, yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, we could do maybe.
Did you send her that article, you guys?
No, I didn't even send her the article.
Was it Oklahoma?
Oregon.
Oregon, how the school has now made it so that the kids can take mental health days off.
Wow. Yeah, everyone, Texas, in regards to our kids and health, we're like 49, 48, Texas. And so, especially when it comes to mental health.
It
So,
seems like that should get every school.
exactly. A lot of our schools don't even have counselors.
Wow.
Nurses. 5% of them have it now. But they don't even have the option to go to a nurse. So, I did not know that the schools didn't have. They don't have, a lot of them do not have counselors or nurses. So, you know, think about a child, and then they make
So what I'm gonna do, I need to get his sound.
Governor vetoed recently.
The board. I'm gonna put your name out there in front of the webcam. And have him use the webcam, and we'll go live to the webcam.